Hello, I'm Judith. Welcome to my kitchen. Today we are making a tagine of lamb. This is a Berber recipe from Morocco in the north of Africa. We previously made a southern African recipe. Now we're going to the other end of the continent. So you want to get your tagine. If you don't have a tagine, you can use any heavy bottomed pot with a lid. So nice and hot. It's hotter than I normally cook for sauteing onions. But tagine, you want the heat. So, tablespoon or two of olive oil, depending on, you want enough to cover the bottom of the pan. 1 large, thinly sliced red onion. Now we're going to saute that until soft. So that will take a minute, and we'll return and continue when that's softened. Alright, so the onions now have some color. In this dish, you do want to get them some color, not just softened. Now we're going to add 3 sliced garlic cloves. And this will take a few seconds to become fragrant. Down on the edge of the pan. While we wait for that, I'm going to explain why a tagine is different from cooking with a pot. Tagine has a cone-shaped lid. You can see that with a hole in the top. Now this is designed to let out steam, or enough of the steam, that your food cooks at a constant temperature, but with the angled sides, the moisture runs down and back into your food so it doesn't dry out. This creates the most moist, tender dishes you've ever had. I absolutely love cooking with a tagine. So the next step, now that we've got the garlic to where you can smell it, which is all you want to do, get it fragrant, we're going to add, I have here 13 ounces, about 370 grams I think it is, of lamb. Cubed, large cubes. Again, you don't want it to vanish into the food or into the sauce. So put that in there. I have 3 small zucchinis sliced in half-inch rounds. Sorry, just have to turn that off. And I have paprika, cumin, ginger, turmeric, which is actually turmeric. I keep forgetting that R. Some black pepper. And then we're going to pour in, forgot the strainer, pour in some lamb stock. Which actually, because I used a leg of lamb roast to cut the cubes, I put the bones and scraps into a pot with water to make the stock. So what you really only want about a little less than 2 cups. So, the small bone off of the lamb roast, because you're not buying a whole leg. At least for this you're not. I have bought whole leg of lamb before, and maybe you do too. Okay, now we got that all in there. The last thing you want to add is, I know the recipe says new potatoes, but this time of year you can't get new potatoes, so I have just some thin-skinned white or yellow potatoes. Small ones, cut in half, so they're not gigantic. Put those in there. Now, the recipe says to boil them for 5 minutes first to get the cooking started, but that's a step you can actually skip if you get in there. Okay, there goes the lid on. And we're going to give it about 40 minutes and come back and see how it's doing. And it should be nice and tender by then. Okay, we're going to check now. This has been cooking for about 30 minutes. I'll take the lid off. We got a good boil going there. Nice strong simmer. Give it a stir. Let me check how tender things are. Yep. Thicken up. 25 to 30 minutes at a low temperature. Now, while it's cooking, with the lid on, if you think it's maybe boiling a little too hard, by all means check it. No rule about not taking the lid off. Take the lid off, take a look. If it's boiling too hard, turn the temperature down. And this, now that we have the sauce thickened, and if you look at that, isn't that a gorgeous color? Just love how food changes color as it cooks. And your sauces go from screaming bright red tomato to a nice dark color, and this one from to a lovely brown, like meat sauce, gravy kind of color. Okay, now last step, we've got it happy, is add a generous handful of roughly chopped cilantro, and stir that through. Turn everything off. And traditionally, the head of the household makes sure everyone has a good chunk of bread, and then you serve yourself the vegetables. And then after you've had your vegetables and you're feeling a little warm inside and happy, the head of the household dishes out the meat, so everyone gets a fair share of meat. And now we have dinner. A lovely Berber lamb stew with a good chunk of bread. Drop a like, subscribe, make a comment, and I'll be back soon with another recipe.